Very, very funny comedian who will be performing from September 19th through the 23rd at Catch a Rising Star in Cambridge. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the program the always funny Jonathan Katz. Oh, Jonathan.
Thank you very much. Nice to be back. I had a rough night last night. Around 3 in the morning, I think I hear somebody breaking in, so I call 911. A voice says, if there's an intruder in your home and you're calling from a touch-tone phone. I just celebrated my 40th birthday last week. Thank you very much. And I'm going through what psychologists call a midlife crisis. I need to know that women still find me pathetic. But, my father was a real ladies' man when he was younger. I discovered this the other night at the local chapter of Adult Children of Sydney Katz. Took my daughter to the circus today, traveling circus, so I have no idea where she is. But she's, they weren't doing well either. They had a low-budget freak show. They had a bearded man. No Siamese twins. 2 guys with a joint checking account. But for me, the sad thing was the emotionally strong man, the abuse this guy was taking. So sad, just in the name of big top fun. But she enjoyed it, and she's great. 7 years old, just turned 7, wonderful age. But she's starting to ask those embarrassing questions like, what does a guy like you make? She's a terrific student. Unlike her father, I was terrible. I didn't study, but I couldn't cheat on tests because my conscience wouldn't permit it. I would copy my neighbor's answers, but I'd put them in quotation marks. Hey, I heard some wonderful news on the way here tonight. Apparently, they have found a new verse to Kumbaya. So, it's good news. Yeah. I invent the news because the real news confuses me, like this flag burning issue. Some Americans feel we should have the right to burn the flag. Others feel it's a right that we should not have. I think that there's room for compromise. Would it be so wrong to preheat the flag to 450 with even more confusing is the abortion issue. Very complicated, but basically it boils down to one question: the question of when life begins, and that's a tricky one. For me, it's after that second cup of coffee. I don't know about you people. The right to life, and now the right to die. As a matter of fact, last week, my grandfather sent me a signed copy of what's called a living will. Basically, it's a document that gives me the right, in the event that he becomes attached to some kind of mechanical device, to terminate his life. Well, yesterday, I saw him on the exercise bike. No, he's doing okay, my grandfather. Physically, his mind is gone. He calls me Sylvia. That's my maiden name. But I spent 3 hours in his room today. 3 hours, doesn't say a word to me. I get up to leave. He says, come here, I got to tell you something. What, Grandpa? He says, I was in the kitchen with Dinah. Well, that's wonderful news. You keep strumming. That's great. So, he's never been able to grasp what I do for a living. He thinks I'm a Canadian, but you know what, folks? He's happy. He is, and that's not so easy. I had some rough times a few years back. I hit a low point emotionally, and I am ashamed to say that I considered taking my own life. But I called the suicide hotline, and a voice says, if you're depressed and you're calling from a touch-tone phone, thank you very much. You've been very nice.
After this commercial, ladies and gentlemen. Jonathan Katz. Very funny.
Oh, thanks.
Very funny. Your grandfather thinks you're a Canadian, eh?
Yes.
Did you live for a while here in New York, right?
I am a native New Yorker.
But you now live in...
I live in Boston, and you know
Yeah.
what's strange? I even though I grew up here, I'm not tuned into the accent anymore. I spent the day downtown. I'm in a crowded elevator.
Right.
Elevator man says, "Call out your flaws." I say, "I'm impatient with the elderly." So.
Call out your flaws.
Yeah, I see now what he was saying, but
Yeah,
at the time,
sure. How could you know?
slipped by.
You've done a couple of films with David Mamet.
Yes.
Films.
Yep.
House of Games was
House
one.
of Games. I co-wrote the story. I was in his last movie. Things Change.
Yeah. Do you do a lot of auditioning for films?
I have been, and it's tough. It really, just dealing with the rejection, especially
sure.
for a guy with a fragile ego.
Yeah.
But you know what I find helps is when I'm not working, what I try to do is I put myself in situations where I have the upper hand. Like once a week, I take English as a second language. And this
It's a real boost then for you.
yeah, I get the edge.
Very shrewd.
Oh.
Yeah, very nice.
Well, I'm thinking.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We need to... Things are odd tonight, aren't they? Yeah, all right. We have to do another commercial, and then we'll be right back with Jonathan Katz. Thank you very much for being here. Very, very funny. I hope you come back very soon.
I'd love to.
And things are good up in Boston, huh?
Great. It's a wonderful place to live.
We're talking during the commercial, and I said, "Do you like living in Boston?" He said, "Yeah, he really enjoys it." And I said, "But don't you have really bad winters?" And he said, "Yeah, but I have a really strong wife." What the hell does that mean exactly?
I don't know.
Yeah, good for you. I'm glad she's feeling well.
Things I say.
My thanks to Victoria Jackson and Martina Navratilova, and I'm sorry about Judith Hyatt, the cabbage woman. We'll have her back here just as soon as we possibly can. Tomorrow it's another big show. Make sure you get a nap tomorrow. Good night, everybody.